This is Experienced Optimist, and I wanted to talk today about professional complainers. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I was listening to a podcast, and there was a guy on the podcast, and he was talking about a particular group of people. And he was saying that they're not critical thinkers, they're dumb, they can't overcome problems and issues in their life. And he was just going off on this particular group of people. And I noticed something about himself. He was saying that there was everything was wrong with this particular group of people, but he himself didn't do anything so that he would not be around those particular group of people. He himself didn't really improve his own life. All he was doing was complaining, but he wasn't taking any necessary steps to get out of the situation that he was in, get out of the situation of being around all of these people. And why the reason why I want to talk about this and why this is so important is that you can't be a professional complainer in life. I learned this the hard way myself. I was an expert professional complainer. I complained about a lot of things. I used to think that we lived in this kumbaya or we live in this kumbaya life, and that if people would just act a certain way, that the world would be better. And of course, this is true, but that's just not the way nature works. If you look at nature documentaries, animals are very cruel to each other. And human beings are the same way. Human beings are very cruel to each other as well. So if you're a person who's just complaining about the situation that you're in, and you're not willing to do anything to improve your situation, then there's no point in complaining. You're just a professional complainer, and your life is not going to get any better. And that's what happened with me. And I remember, and I said this in a past video, where there was a guy who said, you know why you're complaining and why your life sucks is because you don't have a plan for your life. And this is very true. Like, you're worried about what other people say and what other people do when you don't have a plan. And that's the problem. I see the main the uh, the main deterrent to a person's life, like I said in past videos, the main obstacle is caused by RDAs, racist douchebags and assholes. So these guys come into your life and they wreak havoc. The number one priority for RDA is to make your life a living hell. That's their number one goal. And if you just sit back and you just complain about their behavior and you don't do anything about it, then you're complicit in your own subjugation, downfall, however you want to call it. So the RDA is basically your typical bullies. If you find a nickel on the ground, they'll either try to steal it or they'll call the cops and tell them that you stole it. These people will always get in your way. So your goal to overcoming the RDAs is that you have to develop a plan. And the reason why I say that is because RDAs, racist douchebags and assholes, though they're hard to deal with, they're one thing. They are predictable. No matter where you go in the world, RDAs will act the same way. Their job is to make your life a living hell, and they'll go about doing it in different ways, but ultimately, that's their ultimate goal. But RDAs help you out in one, one dynamic way. They make you more strategic. So therefore, when you come up against them, if you can't just confront them outright, your job is to create a plan for your life to where you don't have to be around them, and that's the goal. And that's what professional complainers don't do. Professional complainers will complain all the time about people not thinking critically. They'll complain about RDAs. They'll complain about their family. They'll complain about this. They'll complain about that. But they'll never have a plan to improve their life. And that's why you should never be a professional complainer. The good things about MGTOW are just some men that are wise in general, the free men out here, is that they'll complain about a situation, but then they'll also give you a way to deal with it. They'll talk about how you should move out of the country. They'll talk about saving money. They'll talk about investing. When I went to Thailand, there was this one guy I met who was an Army veteran, and he retired in his 30s. And he was in Thailand living his best life. Essentially, he was going to travel all over Southeast Asia and visit every country. And he had come from like 3 countries before he came to Thailand, and we were talking about it. And that's the type of guy you need to be. Now he could have been a professional complainer and just stayed in America and retired in America and had to deal with a whole bunch of nonsense. But instead, he said, "You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go travel Southeast Asia and visit the countries and have a good time." That's where you want to be. I was a professional complainer for a long time, and it made my life miserable. I don't want to see you guys go out there and make the same mistake I made. Don't be a professional complainer. The thing is about professional complaining is you're right about everything. You're right about the RDAs, the racist douchebags and assholes. They shouldn't act that way. They shouldn't belittle people. They shouldn't bully people. They shouldn't make other people's life a living hell. But guess what? That's what they're going to do. You can't change it, but you can change how you react to those situations. You can change how the vicinity in which you interact with those people. And that's what you have to do. The reality is society is screwed up. The reality is the family court and child custody court, they're the kings of the RDAs, the racist douchebags and assholes. Their entire goal is to destroy men, destroy families. But what are you going to do? Are you just going to complain about the court? Are you just complain about this and that? Or are you going to are you going to try to do something about it? And there's guys that are in these court systems that do something about it, man. That they fight for that 50-50 custody. They fight against the alimony that they have to pay. And that's what you have to do, man. You can't just sit back and take it. Your goal in life is to overcome these RDAs by any means necessary. Do not let them destroy your life, and don't let them turn you into a professional complainer. You are right about the world. You're right about all these injustices, but you can't just sit back and complain and do nothing. You can improve your life. So that's the reason I want excuse me. That's the reason why I wanted to make this video, because I see a lot of professional complainers out there making the same mistake I made when I was younger, and I don't like to see it. So if you like this video, like, subscribe, support other MGTOW channels, and I'll talk to you later.